Hello everybody, this is a Lamley showcase. Lost out in the middle of nowhere once again. I thought, why not this deserted house to do a very cool video, show a very cool set. The very first diorama set of 2023 from Hot Wheels. The setting has nothing to do with the set, just kind of cool, just kind of fun, and I'm out here, so why not? It is the brand new Nissan diorama set. It's a Walmart exclusive. It is all Skylines, and if you look at it, all white. It is a sequel to the original Nissan GT-R set. This is actually the third Nissan set we've had. The first one had the Datsun wagon and the Kaido House Deco with, I think, a Z and the Laurel. But this was a very, very popular set, the GT-R set from a couple years ago, with an R34, R33, and an R32 Skyline. And now Hot Wheels has said, you like those signature white Skylines? Why don't we go even further back in time and give you 3 different Skylines. I'll show you the back of the set. Here it is. We've got the Nissan Skyline 2000 GT-R. This is the Liberty Walk version, a little different than the original Kenmary Skyline that was released back in 2011. Nissan Skyline C210. Oh, there's a big gust of wind. Sorry about that. C210, a tragically underused casting, but beautiful here in signature white. And then, of course, an old favorite, one of the OGs, the Nissan Skyline HT2000 GTX, the Hakosuka Skyline, and then we've got the Fleet Street truck that we are going to show. So very, very cool. I'm showing you this right now. I don't know if it's going to be at Walmart soon. I'll show you, let's see, if you want that, I guess I can show it to you. But we are going to go ahead and cut this open, but let's talk about the original set. GT-R set, now they can't call this other one GT-R because the cars aren't GT-Rs, but these were R34, R33, and R32, all in white. Japanese cars, just, there's something signature about white cars themselves, of course, but also just white Japanese cars. It's just, there's just a certain look, a certain appeal to them. Hot Wheels knows it. I think we all know this. So it started with this one, a really, really cool set. The R32 is the newest of those castings, and it, I think we've seen it in Fast and Furious, in Jet Black, we've seen HKS, we've seen a million different good versions, Advent as well, but this white one is one of the cleanest versions they did. My favorite of the set was the R33. We've seen that in Nismo, in Boulevard, what's that? And then some Fast and Furious versions. We've seen a few different versions, but this white version with the 5 spokes is my favorite of this casting, and it's also, of these 3 castings, my favorite of the 3. And of course the old favorite, the R34, one that caused a big bunch of buzz on Tuesday with the pink version that was a debacle. I'll talk about that another time on the RLC, but part of the reason is because the demand is so high. This is probably the most popular casting right now in the Hot Wheels world, the R34. And I don't know what is the best version of this one. There's so many good ones, but of the non-premium RLC, this white one with the 10 spokes is a beauty to be sure. It's also cool about this is they've been creating a white car kind of collection. I went back, and obviously there's these 3, and there's also the S14, which, you know, originated in the Fast and Furious, and then we've seen it in a few different releases, and they put it, was it Modern Classics, I believe, when it finally dropped in white with black rims, so it really fits in with this set. And then, of course, I think the original before that was the S15 in pearl white with the 6-spoke rims. Modern Classics as well? I don't remember. I can't remember exact set. I tend to forget those. But an absolute stunner. I mean, between the S15 and the S14. And I felt like I had to go back and go all the way back to the Sun King Z, the Fugu Z, right? That's what it was called. From the original year of car culture. Was that 2017, 16, something like that? In pearl white. I don't know if you would officially call this one part of it, but it definitely fits for sure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the 7th, 8th, and 9th cars in this kind of white Japanese car family, and I hope they keep going because this is fantastic. You guys know I love white cars anyway, but who cares what I think? I just think it's a really, really cool kind of subset that's creating. All right, let's get to this set. Let me go ahead and cut it open. No reason for you guys to see me do that because it does take a while. Let's get these cars out of there. All right, as I was opening this up, I got it out of the original box, but I had to show you this background before I cut out the cars. This must be the Nismo, like either museum or headquarters. or something like that. I'm going to actually angle it here a little bit differently. But if you start over on this side, you can see, I mean, obviously there's trophies here in the background, but there is the S15 in white. You've got the 300ZX in red. Behind that, maybe a GT-R? It's really hard to tell. And then you've got these cars, and then there's Nismo R33 in the background. I hope that can be seen. And then you have these cars, looks like up on the wall a little bit or something like that. I mean, it's really, really cool. Maybe this is what the headquarters looks like. You guys will have to tell me who know that. Still trying to figure out what that blue car is. We'll figure it out. But nonetheless, I'll get these cars out. But I thought this was really, really cool. All right, it's open. Let's get started with the truck itself. This is the Fleet Street. We've seen this one before. It's a little different than the truck in the original Nissan GT-R set. But same deco, just our same combination, right? They got that Nissan in blue, or Nissan in red with the blue pinstriping. Not a ton of details, but it doesn't need it because all of these are in white. It's got the old school Real Rider rims on it. Those kind of concave rims that we've seen for years and years and years. Obviously the tires that are molded into the set as well. Really nice truck. Nothing too spectacular, I don't think, but fits, you know, this hauler vibe that this set has. So that is the Fleet Street, looking good. Fine, but we're worried about the cars. Let's start with the old classic with the Hakoska. This is the 2000 GTX Nissan Skyline. I think we're actually going in order here. If we went in terms of order of when the actual car was released, this was the first, right? Kenmary came after that. Then I think the C210, I don't know, we'll get to it. But anyway, this is the Hakoska. This is the oldest, came out in basic in 2011, hit premium in 2012 in Boulevard. And in fact, I brought this one with me because it is the only other premium one that I think is the most, I mean, plain is such a terrible word, but you know, the most stock looking. It's not necessarily with the black hood and everything else, but this one is the closest, and it's been, what, 10 plus years before we've gotten another one in premium. I think the RLC was clean, right? But we've seen them mostly in racing decos and other kinds of decos, which have been awesome. But it really is nice to see a companion to this original Boulevard premium version in white. So this one has the wheel wells, the bolt-ons highlighted in black, and everything else is clean. They've done the headlight covers in gray, tail lights plain. That's kind of how this was designed by Junimai originally, so it doesn't have a lot of badging, doesn't need a lot of badging the way it's been modified. And now that we have the RLC in more of a stock version as like a GT-R, I believe, maybe it's a GTX, but you have the headlights that are uncovered there and more of a stock version. But this one, based on how it was designed by June, really fits that. It has a racing seat, one single bucket seat in it. Doesn't have the roll cage that originally had in basic, but still, this one is really, really cool. Watanabe rims in jet black, which looks really, really cool. It's just super, super clean. All right, let's go to the C210. This one is my favorite of the set. And I've said this one's of the Skylines, this is the most underused. First version of this one, and another perfect companion piece, was in Japan Historics 2. This thing is so cool in purple. It has the tan interior, but the chrome steering wheel, the chrome 4-spoke rims, the Greddy design with the JNC on it. It was super, super clean with the chrome front and back then. And then I think we've only seen it three times in between. Fast and Furious in that kind of retro looking set that they did in yellow, right, with the R33 deco. It's been a mail-in, and then it was also in Boulevard in black, all right, with the deco. I didn't bring it with me, but that purple version is cool, and now we've got this unbelievably stunning white version. This is called the Skyline Japan. It's kind of the nickname it has. I can't remember the reasons for the Skyline Japan. I know some of you will tell me why it has that name, but all these cars seem to have nicknames, right? And we needed more good, clean, plain versions of this casting, and now between the purple and the white, we have two fantastic versions, and I absolutely love this one. It's even cleaner than the purple because it doesn't have the Greddy and the JNC, not that those are bad, but this one just has the Skyline badging on the side, tail lights, everything, and headlights all done perfectly. Black interior, chrome steering wheel once again, which looks awesome. I'm way into that one. That one is, I will say it, my favorite of this set. But let's get to this one. Now, some people will say, Why did they do the Liberty Walk? Well, I can see why they did this one. It's now moved to premium. It's only been released once before in basic last year in its standard Liberty Walk blue. That's how this car was made, in that blue coloring. So this one could be considered a bit of a fantasy car, but it moves to premium. It has the metal base, goes with the small 5-spoke wheels, which I think we've only seen a couple times before. There's the wind gusts again. But this one might be, outside of the modifications, it might be the more proper Kenmary silhouette, because the original from 2011, which was released at the same time as the Hakosuka, it's getting a little outdated. You know, the rims are a little too big, maybe. You know, the way that the balance of the Kenmary, they had small rims back then, so they had to do it the way they did. But now you look at it, you know, the Kenmary, or the Liberty Walk Kenmary, has a little bit more of the proportions right when it comes to the wheels. Now, of course, I would love to see this casting modified into a more stock version of the Kenmary, or at least the Kenmary GT-R. But this one with the white and the black trim on the wheel wells, I have to say, looks pretty darn good, and I can't complain too much because it really does have that very retro vintage vibe to it. Even with the Liberty Walk modifications on it, I think that one is cool. There you go. That's a new family of white Skylines. It's going to be hitting Walmart soon. You guys tell me what you think. You guys going to get it? Overkill with the white Skylines? I hope not. I'm way into them. What do you think of this setting too? Kind of cool, right? Anyway, you guys tell me what you think. Mattel, thanks for sending this. This is a fantastic set. Thanks, everybody. Bye.